ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Zygarde League. I hope I said that correctly. Joining me today is going to be Jonathan Hyde, or rather, I'm joining him today. Although we're hosting it on my channel. It's a delightful place to be. First time with this league, and I hear that it is a entry-level league for a lot of teams that have not placed in the top divisions. Hyde, as the only person here who has been in the match with this tournament before, tell us about it.
Oh my goodness! So the Zygarde League is a small league. Well, it's not a small league, but it is a league that looks to try to grab those who have placed 24th or lower within the UCS season, the most recent one, or with no placements at all, and trying to assist them in being able to grow. Whether this is providing them an opportunity to scrim against some of these stronger teams or to match up against other teams of similar skill, providing them with VODs, such as we have been doing with casting, and some advice so that they can do coaching down the line and get some resources that way, or even just asking questions outside. These are resources that are coming out, and we have some beautiful, beautiful stats that are coming along with this to try to help give them an idea of what to be looking at that some of these teams are picking and what they're going through, such as stats of who is leading the top picks, who's leading the top bans, and who is leading the top win rates.
You have that information for us now, Hyde. Can you tell us who is the #1 band champion character Pokemon for this league?
Whoa, it's a good thing I have that pulled up from there. Blissey is leading the charts with a 65% ban rate right now, followed closely in second place with a 60% on Charizard, followed by another exactly 60%, Suicune.
Those are some crazy numbers. I expected Suicune and Blissey, but Charizard caught me by surprise. Speaking of surprises, we're going to go ahead and get ready for the draft to see just what these two teams are cooking. We have Keedic versus the Shiggy Wiggy. Is it Shiggy Wiggy or Shiggy Wiggies? Is that plural?
Plural? If it's plural, it should be IES, but I don't think it is, so I think that's just the Shiggy Wiggies.
So it's not plural, it's just Shiggy Wiggy. There's no S, there's no IEs. They're not Shiggy Wiggies, they're just Shiggy Wiggy.
It's just Shiggy Wiggy. Let's get Shiggy Wiggy with it.
All right, we're moving into the draft phase, and as we see, Alchemy is going to be the first casualty of the draft, the first ban of the game, and can't say I'm too surprised seeing that one come.
No, it is definitely not a surprise to see the Alchemy ban by the Imposter Ender, but that's all right. We got a Holo ban and a Blissey. We will not be seeing a Blissey this match. We are just going to be adding to that 65% ban rate.
Holo,
followed by a Glaceon.
New buff coming in. That's not too surprising, but Glaceon over something like Suicune, as we see, Suicune becomes the priority pick here. Excuse me, for the purple team. A very smart way to utilize that first pick of the draft phase. Woo, can't have that going.
Oh my goodness, no, but we have a nice solid pick on that Psyduck coming in on the side of Shiggy Wiggy, along with that Charizard being locked in. They're saying if Charizard's not going to be banned out, we are going to lock it in and show you why it should have been banned out. And we're going to lock that in further with a Mew and a Snorlax. Very versatile picks coming in right here.
This is kind of terrifying. Everybody on the orange team, high priority pick. We've already established Charizard is one of the most banned champions in the league right now, but we also have Psyduck, who has been a favorite targeted ban for the last couple patches, and Snorlax, who's been a priority pick in the defender role since Umbreon got nerfed. Followed up with one of the leading attackers, Mew, and it's looking to be an incredibly strong composition. The match coming from that is going to be on the purple team where they take the Raichu and they grab the Zeraora as well.
Yes, it looks like. Oh, it is. Raichu is still very strong, and one of the things that makes it strong is being able to dash around. It's a very difficult mon to lock down, and it looks like that's exactly what Shiggy Wiggy has recognized. Despite all the dashing, Serena and Charizard have Unite moves that are able to lock on and grab that Raichu with a sure hit Unite move, locking it into a small animation, giving their team time to collapse around it and be able to take it down if it becomes a problem.
I think there's some strong counterplay into taking the Serena and the Charizard here. If I recall, and perhaps chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but both of those Unite moves make you temporarily unstoppable during the casting time, meaning that Espeon and Suicune, I was calling him Sylveon for some reason, Suicune cannot disrupt those Unite moves, making it very easy for the Serena and Charizard to grab the target of their choice, in this case Espeon or Alolan Raichu.
Exactly, but as the Serena, you do need to be careful because with her Unite move, you are not able to grab that Espeon while its passive is still active. That is going to make Espeon immune to any form of crowd control or stunning coming into its direction there. But Charizard, with a buff from last year to its Unite move, is going to be able to handily ignore that and just seismic slam that into the ground.
All right, we're getting into the game. The game is right about to start, and we're going to see exactly take the jungle lane here. Pretty sure it's going to be the Zeraora that is the typical lane assignments, but there have been surprises before, and looks like we're going to see that surprise now. Zeraora going top, and Raichu taking the center.
Oh, for sure. That Raichu is definitely taking center. Do not let that map fool you. While it is a Pikachu, this one does evolve. Now, it looks like we're going to see Serena and Psyduck coming into the top side, which is going to be a very difficult lane to play into because that Psyduck is looking to throw down some nice confusions, which has a surprising nice last hit for a good secure on these wild Pokemon.
We can expect some action to break on the top lane here. Raichu going for a U-type clear from buff to buff to Baltoy to Baltoy coming up the top lane. And the Charmeleon doing a similar clear, but this is going to be a C-type clear where he goes ball tied to the two buffs and ends on the last buff. He's now at the top lane ready for the gank. All three members of both teams up in the top lane waiting to pull the trigger.
We have 8 seconds until these mid-burn spawn in both lanes, and it looks like we have no idea where those center laners are going to be. But no, the Charmeleon's the first one. They're coming in for the engagement. They grab all the farm coming in. Now they're just shooting it out. Looks like Raichu is able to just take full advantage of its range, being able to smoothly get away while also being able to zone out Shiggy Wiggy.
Great zoning coming from the Psyduck there, as they're going to be able to zone the controls. I will have to mention, I lost my Candace for just a minute. I forgot that I am the cameraman in today's action. So we're going to see the fight breaking out here. We're going to move right over to the Psyduck, who is now here with the Serena as they try to defend the top lane. Baltoy, the Banary. It starts with a B. But by getting this, they're able to get an EXP lead. And you can see both players right now on that side of the map, the your side of the map, are level 5, which is an advantage compared to level 5 and level 4 player of the blue team.
Yes, and as our teams are moving in, the 8-minute birds have spawned, and it looks like we have some late rotations in, but they're not there. Those birds are still deleted on spawn, and it looks like we do have a nice fight breaking out. Psyduck coming in a little late, but now is trying to get away. Looks like he definitely needs to defend that pad, but no, the Raichu coming in with a nice little dash, being able to shred it down. But Serena's coming in and locking it in. Suicune goes down. Charizard's backing it up. They're chasing. Raichu's keeping distance, keeping momentum, but it's not enough. Charizard takes it down with a nice handy Fire Blast.
Where there's a will, there is a way, and sometimes you have to find a way to pave that way and pave it in blood. They were going for the juggler, getting the double knockouts, and now applying the pressure with these points. Orange team, 7 minutes left in the game, currently up by nearly 70 points.
With a nice 21 overcap in that top side, they're going to leave that Serena to shred that objective there. So that means if Keedic ever wants to contest it, that is going to be a one-on-one fight or a two-on-one fight. But as we see here on the mini-map, we have everybody looking like they're going to be gathering in this bottom side pack here. But no. Oh, it seems as if the Keedic is going to give this up. They're going to just play for zone and defense. We do have Shiggy Wiggy already on this Regice. They are going to take it. That means they are now in position to be able to push this pad. We have a nice block from Snorlax, being able to put put it down. But no, we have a nice Raichu and Charizard unite coming out. The battle of the AoE coming through. And Raichu goes down, taken out by the Mew, the stealth assassin.
Purple team trying to mount a defense here. We see the Umbreon locking down opponents with the mean look as Espeon tries to get some chip damage from afar. They don't want to let them take the pad here, but they might not have a choice. Charizard is going to retreat and pivot away, while Psyduck and Mew continue to lay on the pressure. More players from the blue team do rotate to the bot side in order to contest the spawning wild Pokemon.
And it looks like they are going to be doing just that, contesting this bot side farm. We have some nice Solar Beams, some nice Side Shocks coming out. It's a battle of range right now. So whoever has the better range is looking like they're going to be able to take over these interactions and these engagements.
All right, new exchanges coming out right now as we do see a lead come from the Umbreon. It will be the Serena picking up the first knockout of the fight with a follow-up double knockout onto the Suicune. We do see Espeon a bit isolated right here. Serena uses the Unite move to grab the Raichu. Raichu is going to be sent back to the Pokemon Center. A quadra knockout in favor of the orange team.
That Psyduck has been really putting in the work this match so far. It's no reason it is one of the top 3 pick rate Pokemon coming into this set, into the Zygarde League Week 2. It is a very powerful, very annoying harasser, being able to lock down opponents, shove them with the Psychic. Even though they got the recent buff or nerf came through, shrinking its area of effect, it's not hindering it one bit.
No fight breaking out here. Psyduck trying to get an angle to make a pick for the team, but the Suicune Unite proves to be a little too difficult for him to handle. A little too much of a cold play, if you ask me. Serena now coming in for the flank, looking for an opportunity to grab the Umbreon here, and will get the pick on the Espeon, resulting in a triple knockout for the orange team. It looks to me that they are in a very strong position. 4 minutes left in the game, and currently up by over 240 points.
That is quite the deficit to be at this point right now, Malice. Unfortunately for Keedic, they are lacking behind. They're getting a lot of pressure applied to them from the side of Shiggy Wiggy. They have a lot of map presence and a lot of control over the spawning wild Pokemon coming in. They're making it very, very difficult for the side of Keedic to be able to farm it up and get their levels. As we're seeing here, we have level 13 on the Serena and 13 on the Charizard. But the most we have is level 11s for the carries on the side of Keedic. And as we're seeing right now, we have a huge white 5-man white coming in on the side of Shiggy Wiggy against Keedic.
They're definitely getting Shiggy with it right now. As you can see, they are pulling further and further ahead. But it looks like there was a surprise knockout off camera. A double knockout coming from the blue team. Zeraora from the team Keedic was able to get a shutdown on the Charizard and a bonus knockout on the Psyduck, elevating his level to level 13, allowing him to contest and compete with some of the strongest players in the game.
And that's going to be incredibly crucial for Keedic here now, because this allows the Raichu to be able to freely farm. They don't have to split that up with the Zeraora. Of course, they want that Zeraora 14. But if you have to spread that experience out, this is a great way to do this. And unfortunately, no, for Keedic, the Umbreon goes down, was not able to make that great escape.
All right, Oradori here, now pursuing after the Psyduck, looking to find a way to secure a position for the Ray fight. And positioning is incredibly important. It can be the deciding factor from 2 players who are relatively even. If they have what we call a wombo combo, a set series of order of operations of how they utilize their Unite moves and other abilities, they can overcome the difference of EXP. But to be able to do that, they need a way in.
Oh, for sure. And as we're coming into this Rayquaza fight, we're already seeing Side Shocks coming out. We're seeing Thunderbolts being thrown, and we're seeing Solar Beams being shot. And it looks like this will be a battle of range. We need to remember, Malice, both teams opted for a nice crowd-controlled, supportive type composition, especially with their second XP share holder, which is usually referred to for a noticeable supporter. But we do have no healers on the side of either team, which means this battle of ranges is just going to wage on.
Looks like
Here we go with a nice Espeon Unite coming in.
Action play coming in here. Umbreon will lead with the Unite move. Is going to get multiple different targets. And Keedic picks up the pick and gets the Espeon. Mew going for another target right here as the Charizard uses its Unite move, grabbing one of the players from Team Keedic.
And just like that, that Raichu is gone exactly how we thought it was going to go. That's exactly what was going to happen, is that Raichu went down to a Serena Unite move. Shiggy Wiggy is an advantage, being able to control this Wraith hit. They're fighting in the Umbreon. They're chasing it instead of taking down the objective, which arguably is very, very smart. You don't want to rip while you're ahead. But with one of those pads now, Umbreon's going for a score. We're at 112 to 278, 176. One good score is all Keedic needs, and as they're coming in, they're taking down Shiggy Wiggy one by one. Now they're in control of the Wraith hit, and they're going for that rip on the Great Green Dragon.
Only 20 seconds left in the game. The time is now. If they are able to secure it and get to the pad in short fashion, they may be able to win. Doesn't look like to me that the orange team is going to try to contest this. In fact, they're trying to defend against the points and get some points in. They were not able to score. We are seeing 52 coming in from the Umbreon, another 100 coming in from the Zeraora, and by my calculations, this has been a complete reversal.
Oh my goodness. We'd love to see those games won. We saw it yesterday with EX Trainers versus Secret Tech. And now will we see it today? Yes! Keedic makes the comeback with 328 to 278, beating out game one against the Shiggy Wiggy.
What an incredible turnaround. It was a moment of opportunity. They're able to get the last knockout, secure the position around the way, and still get him in time to score those points. Not only were they able to do that, but another one of their players successfully stopped the double score happening on the bot lane, preventing the orange team from getting any kind of buff or buffer to offset those points. Critical, momentary thinking.
Oh my goodness, yes. And the Serena and the Charizard, while they were effective in the initial fight, they did get caught out. There was too many members from the side of Shiggy Wiggy chasing that Umbreon there, that when Keedic finally made that push back into the Wraith pit, they just were caught off guard. They were taken down one after another in a coordinated onslaught, being able to push that back in. There's no better example of if there is a way, there is a way.
Look at the graph here. We'll see. It looked to me like it was Team Shiggy Wiggy that was ahead the whole time through. They took the lead shortly after 2 minutes, and they maintained it for the entirety of the game, only losing it moments before the end game's conclusion. Now, this can be a frustrating and disastrous loss. However, when things go wrong, I tell my students, I tell my players not to go with them. They clearly were in control of the majority of the game, and if it could be done once, it could be done again. They know it's possible. And now, because they lost that first game, they know that it is necessary that they execute and follow through.
I'm not sure what kind of a guru said this, but I believe it was the amazing Ted Lasso, memory of a goldfish. You just got to brush it off and move on to the next game. You can't let it get you down. That was a very close match. So you have to remember, what did you do right? Where did it go wrong? What small adjustments are you going to be able to make to be able to zone that Wraith hit out the next time and to lock down the Keedic from being able to make a comeback? We had some great power picks seen on the side of Shiggy Wiggy. We saw Psyduck, we saw Snorlax. Those are some of the top pick Pokemon in this league right now, and I am excited to see what's coming next.
Well, sounds like you won't have to wait long. We're getting it in just now that the teams are ready to move on to game 2. So let's carry on into the draft.
Oh, absolutely. I am excited. All right, let's see who this first ban is going to be. Will it be the Blissey? Will it be the Psyduck? Will it be the Snorlax, or will it be the infamous Charizard?
Looks like Alchemy will be again the first casualty of the draft. It's not something anybody wants to see. Very strong Pokemon indeed. Ho-Oh will be a follow-up of that. Probably going to be some regular retainers, but it looks like we might be seeing a Latios? Latios ban? Is it Latios or Latios? Which one's the blue one? I forget.
Latios. And yes, we do have the Charizard ban. We keep that Holo and the Glaceon still locked in. Most likely a target ban against Keedic. But that Charizard was an issue, and they're saying, hell no, we're not going through that again, and we're banning it out. He is gone. And we're locking in the Duck from the side of Keedic.
The Duck is a smart move. Not only is it a priority pick, but it's a denial pick. If you take it, they can't. Unfortunately, that's going to be used against them as the Suicune. It's now going to go over to the Shiggy Wiggies as a priority pick and a denial pick of their own, preventing the Team Keedic from grabbing the Suicune. Why is this name so goofy to me? I keep stumbling on it.
Oh, that's all right. Suicune, because it sounds like a little bit of some other words that we know that could come off of it, but we don't want to really say on stream. But we have the Raichu locked in.
Would be. Maybe you should enlighten us.
All right, but we have the Raichu locked in. We have some flipping coming in on the side of Creamer, but it looks like he's going to lock in that Blaziken. We see that Zeraora coming back in again on the side of Keedic. That is going to be their ace in the hole. Who is their last pick going to be? They're thinking about it. Chandelure? Shandy is the one coming in for the final pick on the side of Keedic.
Yeah, Shandy is, to me, always an interesting pick. He's got this ability that locks out people's skills. It's incredibly absurd, and you think it would be more oppressive, and yet it's not oppressive enough to warrant a ban, but it's oppressive enough to make you want to throw your controller when you're going against it. I always get frustrated if I don't have some type of dive pick that can remove that. It's incredibly annoying for any long-range exchange champion if you're playing what are they with the Miraidon's his name, and probably Latios now too. If you're playing them, you get hit by the skill lock. Now you can't use your abilities, and you are so vulnerable. However, it looks like the Shiggy Wiggies are in a strong position with the Blaziken and the Greninja. They're auto attack reliant on some of their biggest characters, and so they might not be all that punished or all that concerned by the Chandelure.
Exactly. No, that Chandelure is in big trouble with that Greninja. Any Greninja Unite that's going to be coming out is definitely going to be looking for that Chandelure to pop onto, stun, get behind it, and throw out any Water Shurikens or Surfs to grab that knockout on it, leaving any sort of ranged oppression that Keedic might be able to express absolutely KO'd and unable to be effective.
I will say, you disappointed me. You didn't let me know that Slimp was playing today. I had to see it just now that he was in there. And didn't change his name.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, this is the caster. This is the caster's nightmare. This is because they added that new feature that changes names that allows the players to mess with us. I got baited yesterday, by the way. I thought it was Tish, but no, that's security just baiting me with Tish with an accurate recreation. By the way, Tish is on my team for Doom Night League. I got baited by that. Wow, but good job.
All right, speaking of baits, we're going to move into the game here, and it's going to be a little bit of a debate to figure out who is going to go where and win the opening hand. We already see an exchange coming in for the Snorlax and the Pikachu, trying to grab that contested center farm, but they're going to take a substantial amount of damage on it. Fortunately, Snorlax can still secure the wild Pokemon on their side of the map, preventing the continued advance from the Eevee.
And I know that side of Keedic side of Shiggy Wiggy is not too concerned with the Chandelure, but they have to get their Greninja online first. They have to get that thing going. So the fact that they're leaving the Chandelure into the jungle, into their center path, they're being able to farm for free without any sort of contesting from the Snorlax of an invade or something, that seems a little shocking to me, because Snorlax would be a perfect invader for this, and I believe the Pikachu would be able to hold the lane by itself, being able to lock in that farm. So Shiggy Wiggy opting for a more safe approach coming into this first fight. As you see, we go here, we have the Zeraora diving in, almost getting KO'd, being able to walk out, but they are low HP and they have to retreat for a short engagement at those 850 birds.
As long as you're able to grab the birds, that's all you need. You don't need to commit to a full team fight here. Now, we do see the tempo is in the hands of the Greninja. They are going to be able to grab the center Baltoy. They're not going to press forward to deny the opponents. Instead, they're going to try to take that time and advance onto their own camps to get their buffs again and probably hit that level 7 power spike in anticipation of that 8-minute bird.
We are 12 seconds out from those mid-birds, by the way, Malice. This is going to be an engage that we are going to be seeing shortly, actually. We have the Suicune rotating in, Shiggy Wiggy opting for a nice full team rotation into this. Keedic leaving behind the Umbreon, going only with 4 man. We kidnap the birds, we take him out. Snorlax doing an excellent job of zoning, going after the Ninetales, takes down the Chandelure. The surprise dive, coming in with a nice heavy slam and being able to lock it down and escape. Meanwhile, Greninja is taking down names with Zeraora with a nice double knockout.
Exactly the type of play they need to break the stalemate. Great lead from the Suicune there, allowing them to get the freeze on the Chandelure, setting up the play for the Snorlax, who then gets a multi-target knockup, allowing them to isolate, pick them apart, and get the advantage. But a new fight's breaking out here as Umbreon tries to get a retaliatory play, but will be punished by the Suicune and kited out by the Raichu, giving another knockout over to the Shiggy Wiggies.
Yeah, these knockouts are just racking up. If anybody is stacking any sort of Excel bracer, that is going to just keep adding and piling on. But it seems like there we have, a nice overheat strike into the Zeraora. Blaziken's like, listen, man, get off my back. You're not married to me. You don't need to be on it. But as we come in, we got Snorlax with a nice knockout on the Ninetales, chasing down the Chandelure, being able to block it and lock it as the Raichu comes in and starts to shred and grabs the double knockout.
A knockout and a knock-up. Talk about some committed plays happening there. Right now, the Shiggy Wiggies are actually behind by a couple points, but they have a massive EXP lead. We can see that they're currently up by 2 levels on the majority of their characters. Several level 9s with only 1 level 8 on the side of the purple team. Now, they're going to be pressing the advantage here in order to get the pad. They just shored up their lead, and this will allow them to exert more influence on the map. By eliminating those flux zones, it's going to take longer for the purple team to get anywhere, giving more time for the orange team to dominate.
For sure, and it looks like we do see how Night moves coming out as well with that Blaziken being able to just combo it off and take down the Zeraora. Zeraora and Chandelure finally clicking into their Unite moves as well. So we finally got some ults on the side of Keedic coming in as they're trying to defend this pad, but they're just getting outranged and outdamaged. Again, no healers on either team. So these attackers are going to be able to launch in and bring down the rain and hellfire that is the range and hellfire.
Bert's a little bit up on that one. Just kind of, we saw the play that happened here, an aggressive play from the Shiggy Wiggies, allowing them to isolate and pick apart these opponents. Suicune gets another freeze, another moment of opportunity, and they isolate, they pick, they burst, and they kite. And by doing so, they win the team fight, and they take another pad. 5 minutes left in the game, and currently up by 50 points.
Exactly 50. That is something you don't often see, but jump pads are up, which means those Keedic is able to better defend those 2 pads here. As we see these teams rotating in and with getting vision, we have some slight engages. Blaziken coming back for the engage for a nice collapse coming down. Umbreon Unite, Greninja Unite coming in. We have Unites flying everywhere. Greninja down, Suicune down, Alolan Ninetales down as Umbreon breaks the pad, coming back, clawing some points back into this game as we're raining more fire down on the Snorlax. Zoning out Shiggy Wiggy and taking this bottom objective.
Good play for Keedic there as they get a 2-for-2 trade, but are able to get the pad for bonus EXP and get priority on the bot side Reggie. This will give them exactly what they need to come back into the game. We do see there are now multiple level 11s on the side of Keedic. That's not enough to make up for the level 12 players on the side of Shiggy Wiggies. They're still in a dominant position here, but it is closer than it did before, and more wins like that, more fights like that will be what they need if they want to come back for an upset again in game 2.
Absolutely, and as we are seeing right now, we're seeing Shiggy Wiggy make a move. This is the time of the game where you want to do that. They have the Regieleki barreling down topside, and they're going bot side to score. But no, the Chandelure is onto them, but no, gets ran out by the Greninja. Running into the Flux Zone, trying to defend that pad. Psyduck with a nice peel, using that passive there, being able to push the Greninja off the Chandelure and saving it. Is this a prelude to what we will see at the Rayquaza fight? Is this how Keedic is going to be able to take down Shiggy Wiggy? We're going to have to stay tuned and find out in 60 seconds.
It's like a movie trailer as we try to figure out what the next play is going to be. Almost like an episode of Dragon Ball Z. Now, wrong anime, of course, but we do have several different protagonists in here. It looks like Umbreon is him. He's one of them. He's going to be able to get some points for his team and help shorten the gap. Is now only about 35 points behind, and he escapes with his health bar intact. That is some protagonist energy right there.
And even though we are only 35 points behind, that does mean both teams in 30 seconds will know exactly who is in the lead and who is in behind and who needs to make this play at Rayquaza. They won't know by exactly how much, but they will know that it will be more than 30 points coming in. We see Shiggy Wiggy taking a nice position in the Ray Pit, looking to zone out Keedic.
All right, Galaxy looking for an engage here with the Snorlax, but will be pushed away with some chip damage for the Psyduck. This could be their moment. They won the last team fight. They might win this one. Umbreon's going to go use the Unite move, but Snorlax utilizes the block to cause some disruption.
And as we're coming in, we see this Psyduck going in. Oh, he gets a huge Electro Ball coming in. We have huge Unites coming out. Blaziken takes down the Zero Aura as the first victim of this Ray fight. Now we're seeing the Chandelure raining down overheat, but Ninetales soon to fall. And now the Chandelure follows with it with the Psyduck with a nice Unite move from that Raichu. Psyduck not able to peel it. Now Shiggy Wiggy's able to take the Rayquaza. They're not making the same mistake as last time. They're going for the Great Green Dragon. Umbreon is there, but he's not going to be able to take it with a nice heavy slam secure from the Snorlax.
You got to give credit where credit due. He only had a small window and he went for it. He knew that if he did not succeed in stealing it, the game was probably as good as lost. And Shiggy Wiggy's currently just rolling in those points. 100 burger, almost going to be another second 100 burger right now. And we do get a forfeit for our for Team Shiggy Wiggy. I think though this particular league has a bit of a rule about that. They strongly discourage forfeits as it can affect the ability for teams to acquire their proper points and allocations that they deserve from their play. So we'll have to see if any consequences come of that. Although I think last time we saw a warning and then it was let go. But the score currently stands 1-1. While they sort that out, let's go ahead and look at the data. Who were the unsung heroes of this match?
The unsung heroes, I would have to say definitely that Psyduck. Even though the stats don't show it, he peeled very, very well for that Chandelure, being able to force the Shiggy Wiggy into an unfavorable position, making them forcing them to take down the Psyduck before they're able to take down the Chandelure during the Ray fight, or to be able to prioritize isolating it and zoning it out, so that even though the Psyduck was with it when it went down, it wasn't able to amount to much.
Can we go ahead and talk about the Raichu here? It's gone from emotional aid to emotional damage. I can't do the accent, but 77,000 points of damage, over double what has been done by their counterpart, which will come from Team Keedic. I still have to try to get these names down, but that is a substantial 38% of the damage from their team, out damaging even the Blaziken and Greninja, almost actually out damaging both of them put together. That is some substantial damage that we are seeing.
Yeah, but just by looking at the damage alone, you'd think that Raichu was the only one putting in the work, but we saw it. We saw that Greninja dive in. We saw the Blaziken go in. I think the damage numbers are just a reflection of what we identified earlier in the match, of how this came down to a game of range. That's exactly how the first match went down. This is how exactly the second match is coming down. It's just who has the better range on their Pokemon. And Raichu has incredible range. being able to reach much farther than Ninetales or Chandelure is able to reach with their abilities, being able to lock them down. And with no healer to be able to counter that damage, to heal it off, Raichu was just a monster, being able to do what Raichu does.
That is a much closer game. If we look at the graphs here, we'll see that it was neck and neck with the purple team, almost coming back at a couple different instances. Tied at the very beginning at the 2 minutes, or just behind at the 4-minute mark, slightly behind at the 6-minute mark, and even at the 8-minute mark, the difference was only 30 points, or I guess 30 points in a Ray fight. But that's going to be enough of this game. We are going to go ahead and get ready for game 3.
Game 3. We are going to 4 games, by the way. We are locked in 1 point for Shiggy Wiggy, 1 point for Keedic. And these teams, they've won their first sets, 3 matches. So they have 3 points each. But the difference is Keedic did drop a match when Shiggy Wiggy went 3-0 in their last week's matches. So this is going to be interesting to see because Shiggy Wiggy took their first loss in game 1 of this entire season. And Keedic has to be proud of that, being able to lock it in. But again, they're not going to be able to lock in a 3-0 lead.
What makes you say that? They can't get a 3-0 lead. I mean, I guess...
Because Shiggy Wiggy just won this match!
Okay, but 3-1 they least. Like, they can get a 3-game lead. I guess it'd be 2 games.
No, they can't 3-0, but they did a 3-1.
It's not a clean sweep, but sometimes you don't need a clean sweep. If you got a dirty room, you just need to make it clean. You got to sweep it out.
They know we're watching. They're like, hey, we got to make it interesting for these casters. Let's go to a game 5. Maybe we'll see a game 5. Maybe we'll see some sleeper picks. Guys, I'm starting to see some of these mons coming in. I'm like, hey, you're seeing meta picks and whatnot. Let's go for the sleeper picks. Where's my Tyrannitars? Where's my Sableyes? Where's my Shell Smashing Crustals? Come on.
Where's your Duraludon?
Do it a little justice.
Where's Fairy's favorite Pokemon, the Duraludon?
The 4-armed menace Machamp.
The second best auto attacker in the game.
Second best, exactly.
You know what I'd like to see is going to be the first best auto attacker of the game. Can you take a guess on who that might be?
First best auto attacker? You can only be referring to the one, the only Duraludon, the Dawn of ADC.
Wrong. Try
right?
again.
Then yeah, fine. Have your silly bunny, Cinderace, the king of ADC since season 1.
Yeah, this is my boy. You know he's good because he caught a nerf. He caught a 20% attack speed nerf. You know, I was waiting for the teams to be ready, but go and behold, it's my fault as the observer for not getting back in the lobby. They might have been waiting on me. You leave it to the caster to waste everybody's time. Am I right?
Right. This is why we're casters and we're not called observers, because we have one job and we just sit here, we look pretty, and we talk. That's what we do. We're a glorified just chatting channel, guys. That's what we are. And you know what? I'm here for it.
All right, I got the teams already, so we're going to go ahead and move into the draft for draft 3. We'll see if there's been any substantial chances to the strategy. Firewater being the first pick for the purple team once again, and the first ban? Okay, so there's still purple and orange, but they swap pick order, it looks like, and the first ban will be Glaceon. They're just targeting that thing. There's got to be a personal vendetta. I think they recognize somebody. It's a small community, small world after all.
They might, or they probably just did their good research. Like, one of the benefits of being in a league like this is being able to know who your opponents are. Your matches are planned out well in advance, so you're able to do the research that you need to do, which is a huge part of the main Pokemon Unite Championship Series, is knowing the teams, knowing what their advantages are, what their disadvantages are, and being able to place your bans and your team picks around either isolating a single player or isolating favored strategies of the other team.
All right, we're going to see some return bans again in the form of Suicune, Alchemy, and Charizard, but this time the Ho-Oh gets through. An observation I've made, and maybe I'll stand corrected this game, I haven't seen as much Inteleon as of late. People are playing new attackers, and that makes me quite delighted.
Yes, Inteleon has recently got a nerf, being unable to use its 3 crit stacks on its first 2 evolutions. We have 1 as Sobble and 2 as Drizzile. And that has led to a lot of faith in the Pokemon being lost. We have seen in other tournaments that's not the case. It is still a very, very strong pick. So it might be that some of these teams are still in that mindset of saying, hey, Inteleon's still not as good anymore, but Raichu being locked in, being played every game this set so far. Is this the new Inteleon?
I'm not so sure about that. Raichu's always been very good. It's good to see the Electro Ball pick coming into play a lot more frequently since they nerfed the heck out of Psychic. The benefit of doing the Electro Ball build is that you can use it to ensure vision or secure certain bushes, which gives you information on where it's safe to be or where it's not to be. Now, I do like to see this double defender role, but what's interesting to me is that they're going double defender and a supporter, which makes me think that they want to play the holo a lot more aggressively. Or perhaps, as I am now eating my foot, I got my foot in my mouth, we see the Inteleon coming into play, and they just need a really buffy, beefy front line to prevent players from getting access to that Inteleon.
Yeah, this is Shiggy Wiggy is playing to their strengths right now. They've realized that this is going to be a game of range. This is going to be a game of outraging, of getting the mages with the longest range and being able to snipe them down. Pikachu does not have a lot of range, even Mage Pikachu with Thunderbolt. Venusaur is going to be able to contest that with a Solar Beam, but when you have a Snipe Shot and when you have a Thunderbolt raining down from you from the other side, Solar Beam may not be enough. Blissey might have to move towards full egg build here just to keep up, because if they're Safeguard and they are Helping Hand, unfortunately, that is going to leave the side of Keedic very vulnerable. But we do see Eldegoss. We do know Eldegoss will be going Pollen Puff, not full on damage. And that is exciting to see because that is our first healer, definitely, that we know of. Blissey could still go the other way, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be eggs.
I don't expect it to go eggs. I think we're going to see the shield. I think there is some CC they want to watch out for. They don't want to be disrupted by the Snorlax. They don't want to be slowed by the Raichu. They don't want to be stunned by the Ho-Oh. They need to get Pikachu or Buzzwole onto the Inteleon. And Pikachu is not the greatest dive champion. It's still an attacker. It's a really unique attacker. But that Volt Tackle can be a very powerful tool at isolating critical targets. And so if they can buff it, keep it alive, and allow it to get in the pocket, it can be the playmaker they need. Oh, there we go.
Exactly. Blocking it with Volt Tackle, picking it off with Superpower, or even Leech Life, it provides opportunities for the Buzzwole to get on. So it's still a very viable option. And we'll have to see if that's going to work as we start into this game one. We have Bulbasaur taking the jungle on the side of Keedic, and we have a double helping of Inteleon being into the jungle there, along with the Eldegoss.
I think that's a very interesting way to open the game. It could be because Sobble no longer has as good of a clear speed as it does, or did, prior to those nerfs. Or perhaps they just wanted to get it to the top lane expediently, and they felt like the defenders didn't really need any help there.
Yeah, it probably has to do with the crit stacks, because again, Sobble doesn't have a whole lot going for it, so its laning phase is definitely affected. However, coming in as a Drizzile into these lanes with 5 seconds to these 850 birds, Drizzile now has 2 crit stacks, being able to stack them up, keep them going, and keep them ready so they can secure this farm with Water Gun, which it does! Huge evolution on that Eldegoss. Now, Keedic is on the back foot as Shiggy Wiggy is pushing their advantage. Being able to lock this in, trying to keep the advantage down with Flamethrower. Nice reduction to those stats, not reducing their damage. Coming in here as we see the Flamethrower being thrown on the Buzzwole once more.
Looks like there's not much to be had up there. We already see both jungglers going back to their camps in order to get those clear speeds, to get to their max power spike, to get to level 7. A couple of exchanges breaking out between the Elder Gross Ho-Oh combo, but it's not going to be enough for a definitive knockout on either side one way or another. So they're cutting their losses, they're getting in position, they're trying to contest a wild Pokemon, and Buzzwole will be able to snag one out from underneath the Ho-Oh.
And as these 8-minute birds spawn and teams are rotating into that center, huge solar beam coming up from the Venusaur, huge pick by the Buzzwole, but the Inteleon able to get away, and Buzzwole, the first victim of this fight. Lapras, the second falling here. Ho-Oh, the third, went too deep, but Pika falls shortly before. Now the Shiggy Wiggies have the advantage. They are pushing that lane. They're going to try to be scoring 13 points with that Inteleon, trying to get sniped coming in, going down on the side of Keedic. Buzzwole coming in, locking it in. Can he get onto that Inteleon? He's trying, he's buffing, he's punching, and the Inteleon goes down to the Pikachu.
Just kind of shift up. They need to try to even out some of that EXP, but this will be a counter push from the Keedic. Now, Shiggy Wiggy's on the back foot, trying to defend this pad. Looks like they're going to get a couple of their teammates to come bail them out. Snorlax is here, Raichu is here, and they will about to, yes, they do. They do get the pick on the Lapras right there, giving them an equal knockout. But the thing is, if you know where somebody is, you know where they're not, and we see Ho-Oh in the top lane here, getting some free scores in there. Doesn't seem to be a tremendous amount, but if he's got any stacking items, that's going to set him up very nicely. And even if he doesn't, he gets 10 points of EXP for every single point that he deposits. This could be a good way to slowly build that advantage.
As we see the first Unite move on the side of each side coming out here, we do have the Raichu with Unite moves. We have the Venusaur with its Unite move ready to come in. Snorlax went too deep, not able to escape, gets taken down. Venusaur with the Solar Beam, this objective, this Reggie Ice is already 1/3 of the way through its HP. Being able to lock in, coming down. Venusaur with the Unite move, huge! Picks up a KO on the Eldegoss. That's their healer down. Any further Solar Beams is just going to lock it in as it takes down the Raichu, and they secure the objective. Venusaur with a nice triple objective secure, and proving it is the dominant ranged attacker.
All right, Ho taking the center farm right now, trying to continue to build that EXP advantage. Currently 6 minutes left in the game, and score is 102 to 106. Only a 4-point advantage for the Shiggy Wiggies. Buzzwole on his way to retreat after getting a score, and will be able to safely return to his pad, as there's not enough damage from the Ho-Oh to secure the knockout.
But as we come in here, we see a huge Pikachu Unite coming in, takes down the Eldegoss. Keedic is now pushing their advantage, 3-man onto that pad, but Ho-Oh comes out with a flamethrower, burning everybody, blocking it down. We have a nice Unite move out from the Raichu, but unfortunately misses everybody. Inteleon comes out, trying to see those invisible, grabbing it. No, it goes down. Ho-Oh comes in with the revive, though. Now we have a lock-in on the Ho-Oh, secure on the Regieleki. As we're seeing this Ho-Oh stuff, flamethrowing everybody, putting a raging path of inferno flames going through as Regieleki walks and scores.
All right, Shiggy Wiggies now on the push here. They are going to be able to take the pad, currently up by 50 points. Now that they've made the play, their goal here is to deny as much EXP as possible. If they take it off the map, particularly off a Keedic side of the map, they will deny them from getting EXP and further drive a difference in those levels. But it might be for the first time in all of these series, they're actually on the back foot, as Venusaur was the first to get level 12.
It is the first to be level 12. Ho-Oh's level 12, higher than the Raichu, sitting at 11 right now, and the Inteleon. Ho-Oh, the secret carry, he is throwing those flamethrowers like nobody's business. And I just want to point out, Malice, that Blissey was throwing egg bombs, by the way. I think we have a full heal set on that Blissey.
It looks like we do, High. Just to be another surprise in this series is going to be a full Egg Bomb Blissey. Lapras right now going on to the Inteleon. Inteleon barely getting out, but will get protected by that Ho-Oh. Lands the stun, gets a massive amount of damage. Now that the space has been created, Inteleon is landing these snipe shots, applying some substantial pressure to chase off Keedic from their pad.
And Ho is applying a lot of pressure. We have that Buzzwole Super Swole Slam coming down, grabbing a knockout on that Blissey, though. Now he comes out, grabs the knockout on the Inteleon. We have no revival at this point from the Ho-Oh. No, we do. He comes in. I thought he'd hold it with his points. No, they want this Inteleon in. It's like Inteleon goes down, he comes right back up. The revival of the dead, that is one of the scariest things you can find in a fight. But Shiggy Wiggy takes this opportunity to pull back, stop pushing the pad as they're no longer gaining any advantage, and to go farm to regain the level lead, which they already have with the Ho-Oh at level 13.
I think that Ho-Oh is going to be level 14 when it comes to the final fight. He is aggressively farming, not just to get that next power spike, but in order to go ahead and recharge his Unite move, because it was just used. It has a very long cooldown, and without it, it could be a disadvantage in his upcoming fight. Right now, Shiggy Wiggies are condensing and collaborating to work together to grab that Reggie Alecki. A little bit of HP left, could be a steal incoming from the Buzzwole.
And as we come in, that Buzzwole grabs the secure on that, not the Venusaur. You gotta watch out for those ranges, but you can't just let Buzzwole do his thing, because he will be that surprise secure coming in. Alecki will walk, they will score, but they're trying to do quick math. We got huge 50 cap with that Buzzwole for a 182 to 190, as we are now 10 seconds away from this Rayquaza fight.
All right, 10 seconds left. As you stated, both teams are getting ready to find their positions for this fight. It looks like they're going to go from the center or perhaps the bot side, but Lapras is coming in from that angle as well. Pikachu currently securing the top side. Both teams pretty even. This one can go either way.
It could indeed. And with healers on both sides now, we do see that these snipe shots are going to be less effective. We are going to see that these solar beams are going to be less effective, but these healers are going to be putting in double time. But Inteleon's using those snipe shots with the vibrations of every hit to scout out where Keedic is. And as we see, those hits are landing, but Buzzwole finds the secure on the Inteleon with the Super Soul Slam. 2 KOs coming in, but Ho-Oh with a nice quick revival, and then the reverse double knockout against Keedic from Shiggy Wiggy. Inteleon Unite comes out, grabs the revenge KO on the Buzzwole. He's like, now we're tit for tat, as Shiggy Wiggy turns onto Rayquaza with a revenge unseen before in this series.
That was impressive. Honestly, I thought Keedic had that. When they had Buzzwole come in on the Lapras, they got the carries, they knocked both of them out. That's exactly how they need to play that. But Ho-Oh, the Unite move just way too strong. If Ho-Oh wasn't there, that could have been it. But they will be able to revive their players, bringing them back into the game. Space has now been created for the Inteleon. Inteleon's got no other natural predators. He can kite himself out using the Fell Shot, the Sting Shot, or whatever it's called. And he just starts sniping away. They get multiple different mockouts, now up by over 500 points, which is where you want to be.
Exactly. There's only 25 seconds left. Unfortunately, the side of Keedic is no longer going to be able to take this fight. They are going to be locked out from being able to win this match. But this is not the end of the game. You want to take this time to start talking about your strategy. Start thinking about, what were the problem picks in this game? Where did we go wrong? How can we adjust? Every second counts, especially in most leagues and tournaments where you only have about 5 minutes between each game to lock in, say you're ready, and to get into the next match, because we don't have all night, unfortunately. Although we do. Well, this is our job. This is what we're here for. But the players get tired. You got to watch for that player fatigue. And locking in at 5 minutes and respecting that time and whatnot, it's very, very important. So unfortunately, taking all this time from the game, whether you're behind or not, whether it's a full minute extra or whatnot, every second is valuable. Being able to form that strategy going to 2 or 3 or 4.
Let's talk about this damage. Some pretty insane numbers up there. First of all, Lapras at 67,000 as a regular defender, and Ho-Oh as a pseudo defender, more of a carry right now, at 117,000, both of which are some pretty impressive numbers. And that's not to discount the Raichu and the Venusaur, both of which over 120,000 for their teams.
Yeah, they were definitely putting the work in. Buzzwole nice in with a nice 72. But if you look at the side of Shiggy Wiggy, you could definitely see that who was putting in the work. Inteleon was definitely there. He was definitely sniping, but he was not the main damage. I mean, if you look at the side of Keedic there, yeah, you know exactly how that was going to go. Oh my goodness! But the healers were definitely putting in the work. 84k heals on that Eldegoss 68 on that Blissey, I knew the eggs was the way to go, and that's exactly what Keedic was thinking.
All right. I think I just got a bit of a shockwave there from the right shoe. I feel a little bit stunned and lost for words. Perhaps it could just be the chilling Suicune plays from the first two games finally catching up to me as well. But we are now getting ready for a game 4. Score 1-2 in favor of the Shiggy Wiggies.
Ooh, that is going to be awesome. I cannot wait. Malice, I want to ask you something. How many points do you think have been scored this entire series so far? We have 2 weeks coming in. We have 26 matches total played. How many points do you think players have scored?
Matches, you said?
26 matches played.
Probably in the ballpark of about 20 to 21,000. That's got to be my guess. How much do you think? Or do you know? Do you have the answer in front of you?
Looking at the number right now, and you're very close. 19,744 points scored in this entire Zygarde League season so far. Remember, we have another match after this to bump that up. But the fact that we're only, what is that? Probably like 74 points away from 20,000. Yeah, I'll give it to you. You got that almost bang on.
Just shy of it. I didn't quite get it yet. All right. Oh man, it's getting me. You know what it is? There's a hypno. There's a hypno around here, or perhaps there is a haunter or a ghastly eating my dreams. I swear I'm just not stable today. Speaking of stables,
in our world we have the Sandman.
Ponyta.
Ooh. But yeah, no, in our world we have the Sandman. In the world of Pokemon, they have Drowsies and Hypnos. That is arguably more scary. So I would watch out, Malice. If a Hypno's in your dreams, well, you're not eating the good ones.
Hypno terrifies me. He's popular for all the wrong reasons, and that's all that I have to say about that. Moving on to the ban phase, we see our two favorite ice Pokemon being removed from this game. A very chilling sight to see. Glaceon taking a hit for the 4th game in a row, and Suicune being once again removed, followed by both the Ho-Oh and the Charizard. Picks that have been very influential in the matches they've been used.
Oh, for sure. That Ho-Oh was a menace last game, being able to exert a lot of pressure, getting a lot of vision for Shiggy Wiggy as well, being able to just extend and being able to survive with the huge bulk and the healing from its ability, being able to keep it up. Charizard, always a threat, as well as we got the Psyduck, and now Kremi locked in for both sides. Again, it looks like we might be lacking a healer, which means the ranged battle is going to be very detrimental for both sides unless we lock in that second healer. Umbreon is still up. Will we see it on the side of Shiggy Wiggy?
I'm not so sure we're going to see Umbreon this game. I mean, definitely if you're the purple side here, if you're Keedic, you want a way to lock them in. But if you are Shiggy Wiggy, you want long-range poke, long-range harassment. And it sounds counterproductive when you're going against the heal composition, but with Alchemy, she's able to strongly empower everybody around her. So if you fight in close quarters, it's almost a knockout sentence is the way that I'm going to phrase that with how many heals that it gets. And so if you can chip away, if you can poke at him, if you can force him to use that, disengage, wait for your cooldowns, and then punish it, that is a form of play that can be acceptable. But it looks like Keedic is Keedic League keenly aware of that. I tried to make a pun, didn't connect. That's all right.
It looks like here, we do have a notice from production that one of the players did DC, so we will be resetting this game with the same bans. So first picks are probably going to be redone. So these are definitely not the rosters. Although I will admit, Gyarados is looking mighty fine with that red slimming package that it's rocking.
Wait, pause. What the did you just say?
It was like Gyarados looking mighty fine with that slimming red package it's rocking.
Phrasing. Oh my god.
What? I can't compliment his choice of evolution and his stay as a Magikarp? I can't say, hey man, you look thinner that way.
Package. I don't care if it's fat, thick, or slim. You just no. I'm calling HR. That's not okay. I get there's no laws against the Pokemon, Batman, but come on. Alright, and as we said, joking aside, there is a player DC and the game will be reset. So these are not the final picks that we will be seeing for Game 4.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if Latios is legal in this. We haven't seen it as a ban. We haven't seen it picked a single time despite how powerful the Pokemon it is. So I'm pretty sure it is banned in the Zygarde League. And that is something I should know because I should have looked it up. And unfortunately, I am a streamer, which means I don't read.
There is a joke about something not being legal for another week, but I'm not going to go there. The pieces are there, audience. You know the materials. You can say it. But Latios is not legal for another week. And this is with most leagues, if you don't play... Okay, they ended it. With most leagues, new characters coming in are banned for the first 2 weeks. This is to keep it fair for anybody who doesn't have the money to get it, so there's no barriers to entry, as well as give time for players to figure out how to play against it and not be put in a bad opportunity or bad position because of a new and unfamiliar character. So we have one more week before Latios is allowed for general play in competition. I think this rule is mirrored in the UCS as well, and is mirrored by other top-level professional esports, such as the LCS and other MOBA titles, tournaments, leagues, divisions, words on a page, say them quickly. Hide. We have to keep the audience, we have to keep their attention. Do the thing!
Do the thing! Do the thing! Ah! But no, as we come through this, but yeah, no, the Latios ban for another week makes sense. That means we will be seeing it for the first time in a pick or a ban next week as we enter the week 3 for the Zygarde League. Now, as we're resetting this match, we are going back with the same bans. So that means still Ho-Oh gone, still Charizard gone. We're not going to see these guys, unfortunately. The Glaceon target ban that we'll never get to see why or understand, at least with this match. Maybe next week we'll see why Glaceon was banned against Keedic. But unfortunately this week, it looks like we will not be seeing it.
Man, Glaceon's secretly broken. Please send me the cliff notes. I've been interested for a long time. It's one of my favorite evolutions. Psyduck, priority pick. That's going to be new. They have the chance to pick, and the Alchemy is going to be allowed to go over to Team Keedic. Keedic? Keedic. It's Keedic.
Keedic. As we see that Alchemy locked in with the Snorlax. Oh boy, that's going to be a huge, deadly combo.
You know, this is looking a little bit different to me, a little bit different than I expected, but I am happy to see the Stallion come through. Kramer grabbing the...
Oh yeah, it may not be the Black Stallion. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to.
You're fine. I just my mind went to Borderlands for a minute, and I can't follow up with that. But the Rapidash, I think used to be a bug character. I hope that the patch has been very strong in the latest patch. I saw a lot of success with Underdunk the other day, and I'm excited to see what Kramer will be able to do with this pick. Other really big picks coming into this, though. We see the Blaziken, who's been a fan favorite as of late when it comes to the all-rounder role, as well as the Armarouge, one of the better attackers, despite its nerf, still going strong.
Yes, and we're seeing this Blaziken locked into Armarouge. I love Armarouge. Armarouge is such a tanky character. It is terrifying to see an Armarouge on the other team. And we might see a Fire Spin build, or it looks like we're gearing up for a Armor Cannon build along with the Gardevoir. That means that whatever target that Rapidash dives in for and goes for to run down, the other one's still going to be a massive threat. And with the armor cannon and the Moonblast being able to offer a nice range of stuns, if that Gardevoir is able to is using Moonblast, then that is going to rip that anti-CC shield that Rapidash has and get it stunned. And if it's in the back lines when that happens, that could be the end for Rapidash.
And it would be Rapidashing to the finish line there. Positively or negatively, we have yet to see, but they will get there expeditiously, as TI might say. Now, I am pretty interested to see this Crustle and Buzzwole. There's a big dive composition, a lot of engage options on the side of Shiggy Wiggies, which could be very helpful for grabbing the Gardevoir. But Armor Rouge is an attacker that doesn't seem to do too bad into that. His Unite move being a global, I don't say global, but a large AoE stun, which can be paired very well with Gardevoir, be it the Gardevoir leading with their Unite moves or him following up on hers.
And that's going to be even more deadly because we have a nice frontline form with the Blaziken, the Snorlax, and the Alcremie. And the Alcremie Unite is going to be very, very strong in both those tanks because they are bulky, they are tanky, they are beefy, and they are ready to just knock some heads in with an extra dose of healing off of the Unite making the Alcremie. That's just going to increase their viability. And we're going to see Ralts take this first rotation of the center path along with the Rapidash, and we're seeing the invade on the Snorlax going in, starting this red buff, taking it into the bush for some unsightly tackles coming in as it comes through and grabs this buff, and is now, that means this Rapidash is not going to be a Rapidash and will main the prancing Ponyta that it is for a while longer.
I think this is a fantastic play. Rapidash clears a lot faster than Ralts does, and so you want to find a way to set her back to give time for Ralts to get to the power spike. Ralts is not even a real Pokemon until it hits Curlia status. At level 5, it has some abilities that can legitimately have an impact, but prior to that, it's pretty useless.
Absolutely. Even though it gets an extra boost attack off of the teleport, unfortunately, it's not a real Pokemon until it's Curlia, as you said, but don't underestimate it because those infusions can really lock it in as we're seeing Psyshock, that orbital bombardment raining down, correcting and grabbing those farm and being able to lock it in as it goes in for another rotation into the jungle, followed by that Rapidash.
All right, Crustle and Raichu having dominance of the bot lane right now are going to be able to zone out their opponents and get some of these uncontested, or even perhaps contested wild Pokemon and continue to build an EXP lead. Raichu, the first player to hit level 6, only being matched by the opposing jungler in the form of the Curlia.
We are 10 seconds out from these mid-birds now, and these teams have not gone in for the rotation yet. They are not zoning out, but it looks like Snorlax is having some beef with the Buzzwole Psyduck duo. Not able to take him down, but still, he's not full HP. The farm is going to go to the side of Shiggy Wiggy, but Keedic is not letting up. They're keeping the pressure on. Blaziken, too much pressure, unfortunately, and he cracked as Buzzwole whacked him on the ground with his superpower abilities.
You know, that's one of the things that's difficult to teach people is to not necessarily be afraid when your HP bar, your health bar is low. There are times you can take a very measured approach or a very specific interaction and help your team initiate a play that others are caught off guard by. And it's a high risk, it's a high reward, because if you're low on your HP, you can easily get punished. But if you are able to execute like Buzzwole just did, you can take the tempo and set the game back in your favor. Right now, we see the Buzzwole absolutely laying a pounding onto the Combustion.
And Combustion is not the only one taking a beating, as this Alcremie is taking it as well. The recover's not enough. The Cream Dollops it's offering to Buzzwole being ignored. The offering's not accepted as it's taken down by the Psyduck, maybe out of jealousy?
No, I think it's just a goofy Pokemon with a goofy story, and as we know, anything that's goofy or related to Goofy prefers to have that Cheese Whiz instead of some cream. Gardevoir now setting up with the rest of the team, going down for the Regirock, and will not be able to secure it out from the Raichu. It looks like Team Shiggy Wiggy will be the team walking away with the buff.
Absolutely, and as our Gardevoir is raining down orbital bombardments, it is not enough to dissuade Shiggy Wiggy from scoring on this bottom pad. They're now raining in points, not Hungo burgers, but 40 burgers, 30 burgers, and even quarter pounders coming in. As we see these points rain in, it is 14 to 175, and another 34 coming in from this cheeky Rapidash, putting it up to 209, giving Shiggy Wiggy a massive nearly 200-point lead.
Rapidash and Psyduck playing at the foreground here, trying to cause some disruption, maybe take some camps to not EXP from Team Keedic, and they will be able to take one ball toy, but it doesn't look like they have the confidence to do much else beyond that. Fantastic grab coming from the Buzzwole lane, the Pound Town onto the Blaziken, but Blaziken will survive with some heals and shields. Like the Beatles say, you get by with a little help from your friends.
You do, and that is what saved that Blaziken. And that is a very hard move to aim, by the way. Recover, and you throw a dollop, and it is a much shorter range to pick up those dollops than Eldegoss is. And Buzzwole with a nice super slow slam coming in. Alcremie with a huge Unite move. Raichu being like, perfect opportunity to throw. It's down on top of the Alcremie. Remember, you break that shield on the Alcremie, and the heals go away.
More fights breaking out here as Snorlax gets a knockup, but will be thrown around like a ragdoll from the Buzzwole as they get a double knockup. Gardevoir, now exposed and vulnerable, will be sent back packing by the Rapidash. Another double knockout going out to them. A total of 4 in favor of the orange team. 4 minutes left in the game and currently up by over 230 points. They're not wanting to give up another game. They're ready to go home. They're ready to close it out.
They are indeed. Shiggy Wiggy, this is match point for them. And they're just like, you know what? Listen, let's lock in. I got somewhere to be tonight. Underdunks is happening. There's so many events happening tonight. It is late. It is 8:30 p.m. EST, and I am ready to get this done. So they're going to lock this match in. They're going to end it quickly. And that is what they want to do as they start to grab this Regieleki to push it towards their home pad. That will be the final Regieleki of this set. Of this match, because we will not see another one spawn in time before the Great Green Dragon arrives.
All right, Armorju is going to be running to the top lane right here. Still a minute 30 left in the game. A lot of action happening up the top lane right now. Buzzwole will be able to work with your team. Raichu grabbing the objective. A knockout going onto the Alchemy of all people, giving them a good chance to catch up in EXP. Crustle forcing his Unite move pretty early on here, but will have enough time to regenerate that cooldown, have just enough. Now Gardevoir gets a knockout over her own, shutting down the Crustle, allowing her to get some much needed EXP, but Raichu is currently in the lead at level 13, ahead of everybody else.
A minute, and we still only have a minute to go to Rayquaza, and we only have one level 13. Oh, 2 13s as Rapidash takes into it now. Shiggy Wiggy is definitely putting in the work as we see this Crustle blocking in, grabbing a little bit of farm, grabbing its Unite move, coming back. Buzzwole having beef with Regirock, trying to see who's got the bigger muscles. Raichu's going in for a nice little watch party of it. And it look as we see Shiggy Wiggy getting important vision with the Psyduck, going for cheeky scores, trying to scout out where Keedic is. Snorlax on this Rapidash. Rapidash not taking any of it. Again, grabbing that vision. This is what's going to be very important leading up to Rayquaza, because it's going to allow Shiggy Wiggy to determine where it is they set up inside that Ray pit.
Only about 26 seconds left in the game before the Ray fight. That's going to be the decisive moment that decides how the game is going to play out. Buzzwole is trying to go for an early pick, but may end up making the mistake himself of getting caught out, giving an opportunity to Team Keedic. But you see a lead coming in from the Snorlax as he uses the knockup, then pops those up with the block in order to force Psyduck into a bad position. Psyduck picked off right before the Ray fight, giving them a 5v4 advantage.
And it looks like Keedic is just going straight for the rip on the Dragon. They don't really have much of a secure option on the side of Shiggy Wiggy. Meanwhile, on the side of Keedic, they have the Blaziken Overheat. They have the Gardevoir Unite. And it does! They lock it in! Keedic grabs the Great Green Dragon! They wipe 3 members down of Shiggy Wiggy! And they're going for the score! 14 points to 268. We're now at 214. Can Shiggy Wiggy come back and break these shields in time? No! Armor Rouge comes in, making this a 414 to 268. with 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock.
Incredibly close game. 110 points is what they need to close the gap. With a minute left in the game, it's possible that the orange team can group up together, get maybe a pick or two, and force down a lane. If they can get 2 players to score, they just might be able to make it happen. However, they also have to be careful of any kind of back caps. If they try to get a point of their own and somebody else scores, it's going to offset any lead that they might be building through this type of play. Rapidash chasing down the Armor Rouge. Armor Rouge trying to preserve its shield and retreat and regroup.
Exactly, and if that scenario does happen, that shielding from the Armor Rouge is going to be incredibly important, because you don't only get a score shield in this and an immunity to being uninterruptible on those scores with that race shield, you get an attack boost as well. Shiggy Wiggy's still very much into this. 2 or 3 really well-timed scores is going to be able to get them into those points and into that lead with 20 seconds to go. Shiggy Wiggy is not having any of it. Looks like they've given up. We have Crustle holding on pad. We have Rapidash and pad just giving up. Maybe they're just talking strategy in the going into the next match. Again, this is the time. If you don't believe that you're able to rip shields or make a good push in time, this is the time to take to go into and look at what you need to adjust for the next game, what you want to lock in, what you want to ban out, and basically just what strategy you might want to opt for.
I'll be honest, I didn't expect the game to go this way. We'll be going to a game 5. Score is currently 2-2. And this might be the first game 5 of the series. It's not something that happens very commonly.
Ooh. Let me double check that. Yeah, that is looking like it is one of the first game 5s of the series here. I'm trying to look to see where anyone else might have done it. No, this is the first game 5 of the Zygarde League series. Shiggy Wiggy and Keedic are not going down without a fight. They're saying, listen, we have 3 wins and 0 losses on our sets. We might have dropped a few games against some other teams, but we didn't lose the set. We want to keep that going, and only one team is going to walk away with that achievement this week.
All right. Looking at the damage numbers here, it looks like Shiggy Wiggy's had a pretty strong front. 54,000 from the Rapidash, 53 rather from the Buzzwole, and a whopping 83 from the Raichu. That Raichu pick's working out for them very well.
Absolutely. And the Crustle there, I gotta wonder, what was the purpose of the Crustle? We have low damage numbers, low healing, low damage taken. Now, I mind you, on the side of Keedic, there wasn't a whole lot of damage dished out, and it did take 17% of the damage for its team, but Psyduck tanking a huge 27% along with that Buzzwole. I'm wondering if maybe a better defender pick might have been optimal there for the side of Shiggy Wiggy.
I mean, some of those numbers can be a bit deceiving, and if we look at the rest of the stats here, there weren't a whole lot of fights. On the side of King Keedic, they weren't necessarily pulling ahead until the very end there. It was the use of multiple Unite moves that allowed them to get the raid in order to find a way to come back. Grusso possibly just wasn't involved in the few fights that did break out, leading the Psyduck to take more damage as the leading player in those teams, or in those fights, in those moments.
That is very true. And with those walls, you are correct. It is able to set up KOs. Those 9 assists didn't come from nowhere. It had to be part of it. And 9 assists is nothing to joke about. It is very difficult to get a KO. Despite all things that we're seeing in this game as teams fall and we see players fall and we see double, triples, and quad KOs come out, like it can be very difficult to get a knockout in a highly coordinated environment. And so being able to get those knockouts, being able to get those assists on those knockouts, and do a high number like that, it's actually pretty impressive.
So don't mind me. I'm taking it away. It's one of those moments where your mind sits up, or you stand up and your mind sits down. I have those moments.
I feel that. I feel that. You know what? I'll say stuff, and then I'll be like, and everybody's looking at me like, "Are you going to say something?" And I'm like, "I did," and the brain's like, "Yeah, I did," but the mouth is like, "No, I didn't move at all, man."
All right, we're really into the final round, the final series of the game, Game 5. We'll see which team has the first pick, and it looks like it's going to be Keedic will be the first pick of the game, removing the Suicune as the first ban.
That is actually a smart thing to do for the side of Shiggy Wiggy. You want to preserve that last pick of the set, being able to lock in and possibly counter anything that Keedic might be coming up with. If they're going to lock in with a long-range sniper, maybe you go with a second defender, maybe you go for an optimal healer, maybe you look at a nice diver to get onto something like that. Maybe you look at something that's a little bit more bulky, maybe you look at something that's a little more high damage, like maybe a Cinderace. It all depends on what you want to do, but having that final pick is going to be crucial.
I don't think there's anybody that's going to first pick a Cinderace, so I'm the only one who might be crazy enough to do that. The Ho-Oh makes a lot more sense, but now it's going to be up to Shiggy Wiggies to get a counter pick there. And Blissey's on the table, Clefable's on the table. I actually think Clefable's been underperforming here. But Charizard, also an available pick. And there it is.
They lock it in. A nice Charizard Snorlax core coming in right now. We got Raichu. Raichu being picked every match this set so far. Maybe this will boost its pick rate up to contest those of the top three. Alcremie, nice to see it again. Alcremie with that Curse Incense as well, being able to shut down any sort of healing that Snorlax or that Blissey might be able to provide.
Right on. A new and unique pick that we haven't seen in the series before, not commonly picked these days, but a very strong artillery pick, perhaps as a substitute for the Latios, which is not currently available for play.
Exactly. These matches have all come down to a matter of range. Miraidon has one of the largest ranges out there with a nice charge beam, being able to hit far back, and it's the range of the boosted charge beam being able to go through, the range on the Unite move, and the way it's been able to hit while Miraidon's able to stay safe, that is so far out there. So Miraidon being able to come in with a Venusaur, Raichu core with a Zero Aura, and the Absol being the final pick of the match. We have our teams locked in. This is it. These are the final rosters of the set as they're finalizing their items in the final 30 seconds
All right,
of prep time.
Time for predictions. Based on these compositions, who do you think will take the game, or at the very least, who do you think has the advantage?
Ooh, so you have to take into consideration the Ho-Oh Unite. Anyone that goes down is going to instantly come up. I think the Zero Aura. If the Zero Aura goes down or the Raichu goes down, Ho-Oh is going to unite to bring them back. That Charizard is going to be looking to get onto the Ho-Oh or to the Raichu because those are going to be the most annoying Pokemon. Zero Aura is going to be looking to get on Miraidon, but I think Absol is going to be able to swat it away nicely after the Wild Charge ends because you know that's going to be Wild Charge. That's probably not going to be discharged because there's a lot of damage on the side of Shiggy Wiggy that you don't want to get caught up in. So this could really go either way, but I believe the side of Keedic might have the advantage here.
I might have to agree with you. I think that Keedic has a little bit more of a well-rounded and traditional composition. There's some front to back elements to it, as well as some pick elements through the Zero Aura. I do think Wild Charge will probably be the move of preference here, although Discharge could see some unique utility. I am a little bit more surprised by the draft, or a little, I guess, I don't know, off put, it's not a great way to put it, by the draft on the side of the orange team here. But they do have some great things working for them. They have a massive range advantage from the side of Miraidon. They do have a strong foot line and engage in the form of Snorlax. They got great peel and support from the Blissey, and they also have Charizard, who's been a very proficient pocket pick for many players in this current patch.
Absolutely. And as we're seeing the jungle clears, we're seeing Absol clearing very, very fast. He's going onto his final buff and going to be rotating into that top lane first. Zero Aura is not going to be too far behind, but it is clear is a little slower. This is the first time we are seeing a Zero Aura in the jungle set. We have not seen it into that center path. We've only seen it into the top. As we see both center laners come into this path here, they're hiding in the bushes, waiting for this engage in 3 seconds on these 850 birds.
Right, looks like Absol will be the one making the first move here, trying to get a lot of damage, but Zera Aura has the counterplay there and will get the first shutdown. Now Zera Aura is trying to retreat and get out on own, but will get a knockup onto the Charmeleon, allowing them to get a triple knockout by removing the damage. There's just not enough damage left on the board to finalize any of those knockouts against Keedic. Keedic taking the lead of game 5.
Yep, with 60 points to 0, Shiggy Wiggy is falling behind. But we are 15 seconds out from those mid-birds. Anything could happen, Malice.
Anything can happen indeed. It looks like we're going to see some more fights and exchanges happening in the top lane here. Some poke coming out from the Charizard or from the Charmeleon will be negated by the healing from the Alchemy. 8 minutes now on the board. Center spawns will be coming in as Ho tries to secure them with the flamethrower. Zera Aura will get the first knockup, followed up by a double knockup against the Shiggy Wiggies. Snorlax will soon be following pursuit of his teammates.
Snorlax goes down there again to the nice, brutal solar beam of Venusaur. Now that's 7. Venusaur's level 7. Zera Aura is level 8. As they just are running away with this level lead. We have 7 on the Absol and 7 on the Miraidon, but unfortunately, it just isn't enough. Zera Aura will be the first Pokemon in this match. It is on track to be the first Pokemon in this match with its Unite move, which is going to have devastating effects against Shiggy Wiggy.
Strong play from the Rhydon here, working with their team to get a shutdown against the opposing laner. This will be a double knockout in their favor as they get to level 8 and they close the gap between them and Team Keedic. 2 objectives on the board, getting ready to spawn both the top side and bot side, Reggie. We will soon see which teams decide to pursue which objectives. I worded that very weirdly, almost as weird as his composition, which is strangely working as we see the Snorlax engage and Ho-Oh try to defend.
And as this objective just goes down lower and lower, we have the Unite coming in, claiming the Registeel, coming in as the bodies are falling from the side of Keedic. Shiggy Wiggy might have 0 points, but that's not going to last much longer as they take down this Venusaur. The Absol gets taken down, but Miraidon has 37 points to dunk, along with Charizard's 20 and Blissey's little 5. We are now, 100 to 79. That is a huge jump back for the side of Shiggy Wiggy coming back into this match as the Zera Aura is solo ripping this Regieleki.
Not only did it come back in points and close the gap, but if you look at the EXP, there are now 2 level 10s on the side of Shiggy Wiggy and 1 on the side of Keedic. This is a shining example of a comeback happening in process.
Oh, for sure. The swing of experience into the side of Shiggy Wiggy with 3 level 10s now is just going to be absolutely demonic. Venusaur finally getting its Unite move. Zera Aura with its Unite move. Absol with its Unite move. Alcremie with its Unite move. Whatever engage is going to happen next, it's going to be massive with all of these resources being in play. Venusaur fires its Unite move. Not able to grab it. That Verdant Anger running out very, very quickly as this Absol grabs the KO.
One thing I didn't think about when I was criticizing this draft is the combo, or at least the synergy between the Blissey and the Absol. Absol is like a point-and-click delete button for most squishy targets. However, to be successful, he needs to be able to get in the pocket, sometimes expending his resources to do so. But if he can get the shield from the Blissey, it's a lot easier to bypass some of the crowd control that makes it so difficult to get in the first place.
Exactly, and as this Absol Unite comes out, Alcremie looks to counter it, trying to heal its allies, but unfortunately, its allies are not playing around it. Miraidon living on 1 HP in a dream, going back to base, but Keedic is looking to capitalize on these scores. Even though bounce pads are up, they're like, let's keep this point lead going with 295 and a free 50 cap for Absol. Can Zera Aura make it in time? Oh, the Absol's not even going to let him find out. He's like, I see him, I'm getting the heck out of here.
All right, by having so many people respond to the Absol top lane, Regirock is now exposed and free to grab. A pick being made on the Raichu, now having a number advantage in favor of the Shiggy Wiggies. They can get the Regirock, get the 20% defense bonus, and even better yet, get global EXP to continue to further their lead.
We are now 4 minutes in this game, Malice. We are 2 minutes away from the Great Green Dragon. This final Regieleki, not just of this match, but of this set. Well, looks like it will go to the side of Keedic. Will Keedic push with it? We'll find out in a few moments here. But it looks like Shiggy Wiggy is going to be countering up and putting a lot of pressure. Regieleki will go in, but Shiggy Wiggy does not care as they push this top pad, looking for points. Unites Flying Charizard, Raichu, throwing all that they can, burning and Hellfire raining down as it comes through. We have huge engages. Alcremie looking to keep its team surviving, and here we are with a huge knockout on that Charizard.
Very successful play as 3 knockouts go over to the purple team. That's going to turn into a quadrant knockout. And can they go for the penta? Looks like it will not connect as Miraidon's going to be able to kite out the Zeraora using an electro charge. Now currently behind over 120 points in favor of the purple team, Team Keedic right now. But it's not over just yet. Massive EXP lead still in the hands of Team Shiggy Wiggy, with the exception of the Zeraora, who is now level 14.
Yeah, Keedic really needs to come in. They got 45 seconds to get this Raichu on par. It is sitting at level 10. It is now level 11. It's the same level as the light bulbs on the side of Shiggy Wiggy. Charizard just hit 14. He's now on par with the Zeraora. Absol still surpassing that Venusaur as Shiggy Wiggy now looks to claim a position within the Ray Pit to start zoning out and getting vision on Keedic.
All right, it's another repeat of the final team fights. These have typically gone in favor of Team Keedic. They have been very, very great at how they secure these raids, and I'm excited to see what their play is going to be here. Now, Raichu could be in a perilous position here, may get caught by the Absol if Absol's to walk out. We see a couple of exchanges. Absol will go in, but does get kited out and perhaps picked off by the Raichu. We do see the Swift almost being sufficient, although Absol will get a chance to reset and get most of his HP bar back. Both teams now dancing around the Ray as Shiggy Wiggy will start to anger it as a way to provoke the opposing players.
And with that Raichu down, Keedic is now on the back foot. Zeraora goes down. The Verdant Anger comes out. That Crummy Unite has ended. Ho-Oh still with that revive, bringing the Zeraora back. That is all the resources for Keedic gone. The Shiggy Wiggy now raining down those Draco Meteors, Draconic Meteors coming down, being able to KO. We have the Alcremie, we have the Venusaur God, but Charizard, Absol, Snorlax, Miraidon are gone as the Blissey's getting chased out, and the rip on the Great Green Dragon now commences.
It's not over just yet. Raichu is looking to go for the Blissey. Blissey will be forced to use its shield, will get sent back, but was able to successfully buy their team a little bit of time. Charizard's about to respawn here. Snorlax does have the body slam, perhaps a chance to get the Raichu. Raichu does not respect the space here. It's also going to be antagonistic of the Ho-Oh, looking to set up a play as Absol and Charizard collapse on the scene.
And it looks like now we're starting the Ray Rip. We have 30 seconds left. Shiggy Wiggy is 118 points behind. They need to come back. Snorlax goes down. Charizard goes down as Keedic starts zoning them out. They're trying to look for position. Zeraora looking for a nice flank, but does he get caught out? He grabs the Miraidon. No, the Miraidon gets out and goes down at the same time for a full team wipe of Shiggy Wiggy. Now the Rayquaza will go to the side of Keedic as the final countdown commences. Keedic will take the set in the full Game 5. Keedic wins this set against Shiggy Wiggy.
What a powerful upset from a team that was so dominant early on. Looks like they gassed out at the very end there. Keedic finally locked in, showing a great display of mastery for the first time in this series. Look at that, 15-3. That is insane. Haley has said it themselves. Damn, that was insane.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. 90k damage on that Zeraora, being outpaced only by the Miraidon by 5 more K at 95k for the Miraidon. You can tell that these Pokemon were putting in the work. They were the crutches of their team and the crutches of their success. And unfortunately, only one team was able to find success, and that was Keedic. So Shiggy Wiggy does not come forward with this one, but they did make it a nice 3-2 for the first Game 5 of the Zygarde League.
Congratulations to both teams. You guys have played fantastic, phenomenally well.
They absolutely did. These matches were fire. They came right down to the wire. And despite a late start, we are now ready to go into our next match. We are 5 minutes out, so we'll probably take a quick break after this and lead into the next set.
Don't go anywhere, or perhaps we might be passing the stream on, but pay attention to the announcements to see where the next match will be hosted. We'll see you guys soon, and thank you for coming by.